Yo, will mushrooms cure your stutter? Because Chase, I saw this thing on the Joe Rogan podcast of Joe Stamets, or some like Paul Stamets, and he took a heroic dose of mushrooms, which is 10 plus grams, I believe. Not too sure, don't quote me. He took a heroic dose of mushrooms, and he got on top of this tree during a lightning storm, and all of a sudden cured his stutter. And Chase, will that work again? I get this question quite a bit because I've been transparent about me taking mushrooms. I've done a fair share over the past years to state my expertise on this subject. Probably done it over 20, probably close to 30 times. And it hasn't cured shit, all right? I want to start with that. I want to start with that solid foundation that mushrooms won't cure shit. I've heard the vast 99.9% of people that have told me about the mushroom trips, that stutter, it hasn't done shit. If anything, it made it worse. So I want to make that clear right off the bat. And even with me, it didn't cure my stutter whatsoever. But I will tell you what it did. And what it did was, it goes back to the saying that I say that's highly controversial in the stuttering community. But really, everyone that's not on this side of thought is going to be in pain because it's true. And what it is you never have stuttering problems. You have personal problems coming up as a stutter. Anytime you're not present, you're going to stutter. Anytime you're in your head, you're going to stutter. Anytime you are repressed, you're going to stutter. Anytime you're holding back your true self, anytime you're not being authentic, anytime your self-esteem's too low, you're going to stutter. I'm not saying like just one blip of a stutter. I'm saying like in a stuttering state, when when you're in a stuttering state, and it's just like at conversation after conversation after conversation, you just can't get words out. That's when you have personal problems. You're holding in something that you're not letting go of, and your stutter's just revealing that to you. And mushrooms enabled me to see my personal problems. It didn't cure shit. It just enabled me to see my personal problems, so then I was able to work with it. And that's really how I got so many breakthroughs, not in my speech, not at all in my speech, but in why we stutter, so I could help other people. It's a super strange thing to tell, but like, the mushrooms didn't help me at all with the stutter. It helped me with my personal problems. And as a byproduct, when you no longer have so many personal problems, you no longer hold on to all that stress. As a byproduct, you just stutter less. But I want to make clear to you that the mushrooms won't be any like be all end all thing. You'll still have to go through the exact same process regardless if you take mushrooms or not. And the reason why I feel my program has an insane success rate is because I was able to use these trips of self-discovery of what personal problems cause me to stutter the most in, to help other people. And I realized the commonalities among people who stutter is ridiculously high. Like, people always say every person who stutters is different. Yeah, it's true, but the commonalities are so fucking tightly strung, and it's insane, the self-discovery I found out through these trips. But I'm not saying you have to go and take a bunch of mushrooms. I'm saying the path is already here. The path has already been laid out. You just have to take the steps, because you're going to have to take the steps irregardless if you take mushrooms or not. And they are not going to cure you. I want to make that clear. I want to talk about ayahuasca as well. And why I want to talk about ayahuasca is because I feel like mushrooms and ayahuasca are very similar in a way. Like, I don't know if at the beginning I told you I've done ayahuasca. Like, at the very beginning of the ayahuasca trip, like first 45 minutes, it felt like a mushroom trip. And that's where I felt the similarities. And then it just blasts you off in the next like hour or two. But I like ayahuasca, just guessing, I have no idea. I would say it's like 50 times as strong as a 10-gram mushroom trip. Like, it sends you, and it's only truth. I know it's hard to believe if you're not kind of spiritual, if you're not into this natural healings, natural medicines. But it is true. Like, what you see during your ayahuasca trip, it's everything you need to see. It's everything that you need to go through in order to elevate your being. Sounds very woo-woo, but it's true. And I knew that coming into it. So I came in with the intention. I'm like, all right, I'm in Peru right now. How many people who stutter have done this? I'm planning to coach people later on their stutter. What if I can find like a hack in why we stutter? How amazing would that be if I could just do an ayahuasca trip, find like a little switch we can flick that will help everyone who stutters? How easy would that be? I came into that ritual into the experience, into the ceremony with that intention. I'm gonna find out about my stutter. And it hurt me. It hurt me bad, because not only did it's called Mother Ayahuasca. I don't mean disrespect to Mother Ayahuasca by these fingers. I'm just saying it sounds woo-woo to you, so I'll say Mother Ayahuasca is the lady that when you're tripping takes you along these journeys. And I didn't learn shit about my stutter. I learned about everything else about me but my stutter. And I was thinking, like, I did it 4 times, and I was thinking, when am I going to learn about my stutter? When is it going to be apparent to me that, oh, this is the reason why you stutter? When is that brain explosion going to come? But it never came. It never came. It talked about everything else in my life but my stutter. And do you know why? Do you know why? I do. Do you know why? It's because your stutter isn't a fucking thing. Your stutter is not a problem. The reason why Mother Ayahuasca circled everything but my stutter is because there was nothing even there. It's all fucking personal problems that comes up as a stutter. And that's all ayahuasca showed me. The truth of it. It actually showed me the truth of your stutter. And there is no technique you need. There is no reading out loud every day you need. There's no constantly saying words fluently over and over and over and over again to practice it that you need. That is all BS. We already know how to speak fluently. We can do it by ourselves. We can do it when we talk to our dog. But why is it different when we talk to a human being versus talking to a dog or by ourselves? And it's because of the personal problems that we have underneath us. It's because we value other people's judgments too much, which causes tension to be stuck inside of us. It's because our self-esteem is way too low that when we go to talk to someone, we automatically view them on a pedestal. And anytime you talk up to someone, you're going to stutter. That's just the fact of it. Anytime you're talking, like, why do you think you stutter more when you talk to authority figures? Talk to police, you talk to teachers, you're at a job and you have to talk to your boss, most of the time you will stutter more because you view them on a pedestal. But if your self-esteem's low, everyone's on that fucking boss level and you're talking up to everyone. So until you work on those personal problems you have underneath your stutter, you will always continue to find pain, and you'll always continue to stutter so much because you're not addressing those core issues. But then you learn a speech technique that covers that up. Then, like, you do so many years of therapy that teach you, oh, it's just because you don't know how to talk properly. Let me teach you how to talk. It's like, no, you already know how to talk. All right, I'm going off the rails a little bit here, but I want to summarize this video so it kind of saves you from having to do a 10-gram mushroom trip. Saying it's not going to cure shit. It's not going to cure shit. It will. I'm not endorsing shit, but it will allow you, if you have a good trip, which is not guaranteed, to see your inner problems. But all that's unnecessary. I'm like the guinea pig that has already done all of it. You don't have to go and take 25 mushroom trips and go to Peru to do ayahuasca. I've already done that. I've already extracted a lot of the gold there was to extract from there, and I legit help people with everything that I've learned about myself, about coaching people who stutter, about traveling around the world, going into people's places who stutter, staying with them for a week, helping them one-on-one. Like, that was an amazing experience. But I've done all this shit. You don't have to guess. You don't have to do all that. I have saved you time by doing it for you. And if you want my help, if you kind of are in the same kind of wavelength, you're not going for, I only want fluency, that's it, I just want fluency, that's it, and you don't want to address those inner issues that's actually stopping you from being happy, stopping you from being authentic, stopping you from fully expressing yourself, then I won't be for you. Then I'm not the coach for you. I reject people all the time on consultation calls that only want fluency, because I say go and do a speech technique. 100% fluency is not here, but authenticity is here, and happiness is here, and fulfillment's here. So if that resonated with you, then feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook or on the comments, because I love working with people who stutter, and it's my job, so it's amazing. I love you. So does that dog and that nice old lady in the back. I love you. Peace.